Hello there, I am Johan. I am an indie game developer from Sweden, and I'm currently working on my first semi-serious project called Don't Get Possessed. I have previously fooled around with some simple 2D games made through tutorials in Unity by Blackthorn Prod, so a big shout out to Blackthorn Prod because his tutorials are really good. If you need to check out some nice and simple to follow Unity tutorials, you should really check out Blackthorn Prod. But now back to me and Don't Get Possessed. Don't Get Possessed is a simple 2D platformer made in the game engine Gdevelop. It's a codeless-ish game engine. You can use JavaScript, but it's mostly event-based and click-based programming, so it's very simple to get into. If you haven't tried it, I really encourage you to try it, especially if you, like me, aren't really a programmer. I'm much more of an artist than a programmer. But Don't Get Possessed was inspired by the game Phasmophobia, which might sound strange for a game that looks more like Super Mario Brothers, but the idea was actually taken from Phasmophobia after they released their Cursed Object update. Because in this game you are a character called Eric the Exorcist Intern, and you are working a low-pay job for a firm called Exorcism and Possessions Incorporated, and your job is essentially to go to haunted locations, find a cursed object and run away with it and put it in the Blessed Barrel trademark before you get possessed. So the game idea is pretty simple and straightforward. This game has really been a big learning experience for me because I've only before followed tutorials while working in Unity. Like I said, I'm much more of an artist than a programmer, so game making did not come easy for me at the beginning because it's been hard to working on getting a programmer's mindset. And that's why I really like Gdevelop, where the syntax is very limited because it's event-based and you can search things like collisions and player movement, and lots of the programming is pre-made in what's called behaviors in Gdevelop. It's kind of like what a programmer would call a function, a ready-made function for useful things like collision and player movement and other stuff like that. So it's really easy to get started with. The things that I worked on in this devlog was the intro comic, because I wanted to use my artistic skills, and I'm mostly used to working with comic art, and I wanted to use those skills to give the game some kind of context or story to glue things together. Because firstly I only had the levels, which were the haunted places, and a base where you get back to between the missions, where you can sit in the couch and play some video games to regain your sanity, which is the health in the game, or you can call a shrink if you have enough money to expand your sanity, to level it up, so to say. But I wanted to have much more of a context, so I used my artistic skills to draw comics that takes place between the haunted locations, and this time I've just completed the intro comic, which shows Eric going to his first haunted location. And also I worked a bit on something more programmatic, which was trying to get a timer to work, so I can have timed text events, in this case in the base. So when the player clicks an item, there is a text displayed and a timer that decides when the text is shown and when the text is not shown. And this is probably something very basic, but it was a big step and a big victory for me to getting this simple thing to work. And I think that will be about it for my first devlog. Feel free to comment the game in the comment section if you want to, and you're free to ask questions. And I'm currently planning to try to post devlogs and some simple tutorials on the stuff I learn to try to spread the knowledge to other starting indie game developers out there. So, thanks for watching this first devlog. Have a nice evening or day or morning or whenever you watch this, and take care, and I'll see you in another devlog. Bye.